Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine, and today we're talking about a very important day in a couple's life.
That's right. We're going to a wedding, and but this time, it's not going to be so romantic because actually the groom is having second thoughts about the wedding.
Okay, that means he's nervous, and he's not positive he wants to get married today. So remember, the groom is the man, the bride is the woman. Let's jump right into this dialogue, listen to what's going on, and when we come back, we'll be talking about some of the words and phrases you've heard.
Man, I'm freaking out. You gotta help me.
Whoa, take it easy, relax. Jeez, you're sweating like a pig. What's going on?
I can't go through with this. I just can't. I'm not ready for marriage. What was I thinking? I'm only 35 years old. I've got my entire life ahead of me. Adventure's waiting. I can't settle down yet.
What are you talking about? It wasn't more than a month ago that you were rambling on about how you are tired of living the life of a bachelor and how you envy your friends that have a family.
I know.
Let's think this through. First of all, you cannot leave Amy at the altar. Not only will she be humiliated and kill you, but she is the woman that you love and the woman of your dreams. Why would you want to end that or jeopardize it like this? Second of all, you were just getting cold feet. You know deep down inside that you'd want to marry her. So cut the crap and do it.
You're right. I'm being crazy. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Great. Whew. That was a close one. You had me going there for a minute. I thought I was gonna have to slap some sense into you. Alright, we're back, so he almost didn't get married, but luckily you have a good friend to help you out.
Exactly. So this friend really saved the day, made sure that the groom didn't get too nervous, and had some really positive words. So let's take a listen to some of these marriage words in today's language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Alright, so as you mentioned, we have this word marriage. Now, marriage is the noun form, right, of actually getting married or to be married.
Right. Marriage is the noun, the word that describes the relationship between two married people. Okay, and so you have a relationship, maybe you're dating, but once you get married, the thing between you as a man and a woman, that's your marriage.
Your marriage, okay.
So you could say, our marriage is in danger.
We need to work on our marriage.
Exactly. Or we have a happy marriage.
All right. Okay, so that's marriage. Now, if you get married, and this guy, he mentioned a phrase, which was to settle down.
To settle down. This is a very important phrase. To settle down means to get serious, mature, and to stop living like a child. It means really to have a house or to start having kids. It's a time in life.
So to settle down is to become more stable, right? As you say, to buy a house, to have a family, to stay in one place and not be so adventurous or stuff like that.
Exactly. So it's to calm down and to be more fixed in life.
All right. Now, the opposite of this would be to be a bachelor.
Right. So bachelor is a single man, someone who's not married. And you often hear this term when we talk about apartments. So bachelor pad is an apartment that's specific to a single man. Usually there's lots of video games and a fancy TV and a pool table. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So bachelor, we had a lesson about this called bachelor party.
Right. Which is a party for a man right before he gets married.
Okay.
And bachelor is a special word for a man who's not yet married.
Okay. Very good. And now as they were talking about not getting married, he said that you can't leave Amy at the altar.
So you often hear this in movies, she got left at the altar, or you can't leave her at the altar. This word altar is actually religious. Altar is the table in a church where the priest does all of his work.
Right.
All right, so an altar is a special religious table.
So usually two people will stand in front of an altar and get married, right, with the priest who is doing his thing there.
Exactly. He says, do you, Joe, take Samantha to be your bride, blah, blah, blah. So that happens at a special place called the altar.
Okay, very good.
It's also common in the normal mass, like on Sundays.
Right. Okay. And for the last word or phrase today, it's to get cold feet. You're just getting cold feet.
Okay, so this is a very funny phrase in English because it doesn't actually mean that your
cold.
feet are cold,
right?
So cold feet means you're nervous about something. You might change your mind.
Okay.
Okay, so people often talk about men and women getting cold feet before a wedding.
But you can also relate it to any other situation, not only getting married, right?
Yeah, for example, I'm going to go jump out of an airplane tomorrow. Okay, fast forward tomorrow. Oh no, I have cold feet. I don't think I want to jump out of an airplane.
Okay, so that's to get cold feet, to have second thoughts or doubts about actually doing something.
Exactly, cold feet.
All right, so why don't we listen to our dialogue again? Let's keep a lookout for all of these words, and we'll be back in a little bit.
Man, I'm freaking out. You gotta help me.
Whoa, take it easy, relax. Jeez, you're sweating like a pig. What's going on?
I can't go through with this. I just can't. I'm not ready for marriage. What was I thinking? I'm only 35 years old. I've got my entire life ahead of me. Adventure's waiting. I can't settle down yet.
What are you talking about? It wasn't more than a month ago that you were rambling on about how you are tired of living the life of a bachelor and how you envy your friends that have a family.
I know.
Let's think this through. First of all, you cannot leave Amy at the altar. Not only will she be humiliated and kill you, but she is the woman that you love and the woman of your dreams. Why would you want to end that or jeopardize it like this? Second of all, you were just getting cold feet. You know deep down inside that you'd want to marry her. So cut the crap and do it.
You're right. I'm being crazy. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Great. Whew, that was a close one. You had me going there for a minute. I thought I was going to have to slap some sense into you. All right, we're back. So now why don't we take a look at 4 key phrases that we found in this dialogue on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
This first one is a really great phrase because it's very, it's easy to picture this, what we're describing. Sweating like a pig.
To sweat like a pig. Okay, you're sweating like a pig.
All right, this is a way to say that someone is sweating a lot.
A lot.
Okay, and it's really gross or disgusting.
Now, do pigs actually sweat?
I don't know if pigs actually sweat, but you imagine someone smells bad and they have, sweat on their face and their back and their arms.
All right, well, sometimes don't you say you're sweating like a dog?
You could also say that. I guess we like animals in English, but this is just a really great way to say that someone is really sweaty.
All right. And, well, he was sweating and he was really nervous because he said, I can't go through with this. What does he mean, go through with this? With what?
To go through with means to actually do something, okay? So maybe I say, I don't want to jump out of an airplane. I can't go through with this. Okay, I can't jump. So it depends on what we're actually talking about.
Okay.
If we're talking about a wedding, you say, I can't go through with this. I can't get married.
So if you're planning a robbery, you say, well, in the last minute, I couldn't go through with it. I backed out.
Right, I can't complete what I talked about doing.
Okay. And now the friend, he finally gets kind of angry and he says, cut the crap.
Oh man, this is a very common phrase.
All right.
This is someone says this if they don't want to listen to you complain anymore, okay? Marco, cut the crap, okay? I don't want to hear your excuses. I don't want to hear your complaints. I want to just hear
solutions,
ideas, positive things.
So to cut the crap is no more complaints, no more excuses, or no more talking nonsense.
Exactly. And this is common among teachers and, parents.
Yeah. All right, so cut the crap. Now, it's not very polite, right? So you wouldn't really say it to your boss or like a friend. Cut
the crap is kind of rude, and it's very spoken language, so I wouldn't write it down. And I would not use this with someone who is like a teacher,
yeah, like an authority.
You don't use it with them. They might use it with you.
Okay. And for our last phrase, he said, whew, you had me going there for a while, or you had me going there for a minute.
Okay, so this is a really interesting phrase. We use this a lot in English, but it's not clear from listening to it what it might mean. So you had me going there in this sense means, I was really nervous for a minute. I
really believed what you were saying.
Exactly. So maybe we could give an example, Marco.
All right.
Did you know that yesterday I won the lottery? I mean, I won like $1 million and I had the perfect numbers.
Oh my God, really? Can I have $1 million?
I would love to help you out, man, but no, I didn't actually win $1 million.
You had me going there for a minute.
You actually
believed me. I did for a little while.
You believed me. Okay, maybe not. He's not that gullible.
That gullible. All right, but that's what it means, right?
To believe someone's story or to think that something's going to happen even though it doesn't.
Right.
You had me going there. That means what you thought was going to happen didn't happen.
So you can use it in the third person. It's like, yeah, I was telling him this awesome story and I really had him going for a while.
He really believed me,
Right.
and then I told him it wasn't true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great phrases. Now let's listen to our dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about getting cold feet.
Man, I'm freaking out. You gotta help me.
Whoa, take it easy. Relax. Jeez, you're sweating like a pig. What's going on?
I can't go through with this. I just can't. I'm not ready for marriage. What was I thinking? I'm only 35 years old. I've got my entire life ahead of me. Adventures waiting. I can't settle down yet.
What are you talking about? It wasn't more than a month ago that you were rambling on about how you are tired of living the life of a bachelor and how you envy your friends that have a family.
I know.
Let's think this through. First of all, you cannot leave Amy at the altar. Not only will she be humiliated and kill you, but she is the woman that you love and the woman of your dreams. Why would you want to end that or jeopardize it like this? Second of all, you were just getting cold feet. You know deep down inside that you'd want to marry her. So cut the crap and do it.
You're right. I'm being crazy. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Great. Whew. That was a close one. You had me going there for a minute. I thought I was gonna have to slap some sense into you. All right, so this is a popular scenario, right? Somebody at their on their wedding day, they get cold feet and they back out.
TV, movies, books, everyone loves the situation.
Have you ever actually heard of or experienced or maybe known of somebody who actually left the bride at the altar or the groom at the altar?
I don't know anyone who did that, luckily. I think it's really sad.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think it's really that common.
No, but there was a movie just about this. So there's a woman, Julia Roberts, who tries to get married but never can. So it's called Runaway Bride.
Right.
Because every time she goes to the altar, she gets nervous, she gets cold feet, and she runs away.
Right.
So they call her the Runaway Bride.
I can't imagine this actually happening to someone. I mean, you have all your family there, your friends.
I know, it'd be so embarrassing.
It's amazing.
And expensive.
Exactly, because you've already paid for everything.
So do you get to eat the cake if you're the one who's left behind?
I think so. Everything's paid for, right?
Exactly.
And drink all the liquor. All right.
Oh.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk today. We have an interesting topic, wedding doubts.
Yes, wedding doubts. It's something many people feel but don't always talk about. It's normal to feel a little nervous before a big step like marriage.
Exactly. Some people think that having doubts means you shouldn't get married. But sometimes it just means you are thinking carefully. Marriage is a big change, and it's smart to think deeply about it.
I agree. Doubts can come from many things. Maybe you are afraid of the future, or maybe you wonder if you are ready to share your life with someone. It's not always a bad sign.
That's true. I think sometimes people feel pressure from family, friends, or society. Everyone expects them to be happy and excited, so they are afraid to say, "I'm not sure."
Yes, and when you feel that pressure, it becomes even harder to listen to your real feelings. You might ask yourself, do I want this wedding because it feels right, or because everyone expects it?
That's a very important question. Weddings are beautiful, but after the wedding, there is marriage. And marriage is everyday life. It's not just one day of celebration.
Right? It's waking up every day next to the same person, making decisions together, solving problems together. It's about building a life, not just planning a party.
Exactly. That's why wedding doubts can sometimes be helpful. They make you stop and think, am I ready for this life? Do I really know this person? Can we grow together?
Sometimes doubts are small. You might feel nervous about moving to a new home or starting a new life. That's natural. Big changes always bring some fear.
Yes, and sometimes doubts are bigger. Maybe you notice problems in the relationship that you didn't see before. Maybe you realize that you and your partner have different dreams or ideas about life.
When that happens, it's important to talk. Silence makes doubts grow. Talking with your partner about your feelings can help you both understand each other better.
And you don't need to be afraid to say you are scared. Being honest shows that you care. It shows you want a strong, healthy relationship.
Sometimes people feel shame when they have doubts. They think, if I really love this person, I should not feel this way. But love is not always simple. Even deep love can come with fear.
I think it's good to remember that love is strong, but it's also real. Real love knows that life is not always easy. It knows that sometimes you will feel unsure, and that's okay.
Another thing is that wedding planning can create stress. All the details, all the costs, trying to make everything perfect, it can be too much. Some doubts come from the stress, not from the relationship.
That's very true. When people are busy choosing flowers, menus, and clothes, they sometimes lose focus on why they are getting married. The love and connection are more important than the party.
And if you're feeling tired or overwhelmed by planning, it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to remind yourself, the wedding is just one day, but the marriage is the real journey.
I love that idea. The wedding is the beginning, not the end. It's the start of a new life together. If you are feeling doubts, it's good to look deeper, not just run away from the feelings.
Yes, you can ask yourself, are my doubts about fear of change, or are they about serious problems between us? That kind of thinking can help you know what you truly feel.
And if you find that your doubts are about small fears, that's normal. But if you find deep problems, it's better to face them before getting married.
Facing the truth takes courage, but it's better to face the truth now than to live with regret later. Honesty with yourself and with your partner is the best gift you can give.
Another thing to think about is listening to your heart, not just your mind. Sometimes your heart knows something before your mind understands it. If you feel peaceful and happy when you think about marrying your partner, that is a good sign.
But if you feel heavy, sad, or worried most of the time, it is important to pay attention. Those feelings are not there to hurt you. They are there to help you understand yourself better.
Sometimes it helps to write down your feelings. Take a piece of paper and just write. No one else has to see it. When you write, you might discover what is really inside your heart.
Talking to someone you trust can also help. Maybe a close friend or a family member. Someone who listens without judging you. Sometimes just speaking the words out loud makes everything feel clearer.
Also, it is important not to compare your relationship to others. Every relationship is different. What works for your friend or your sister may not be what works for you.
Yes, and pictures on social media can make it worse. Everyone shows the happy, perfect side of their life. But real life is not always perfect. No relationship is perfect.
When you feel doubts, it's good to remember that strong couples are not strong because they have no problems. They are strong because they face problems together. They talk, they listen, and they keep growing.
I really like that. Growth is so important. If you and your partner can talk about your fears, your hopes, your dreams, and your mistakes, that is a sign of real love.
And wedding doubts do not always mean you should cancel the wedding. Sometimes they are just signs that you care deeply and want to do things right. You want to build something strong, not something fast.
Taking time to understand your feelings is an act of love. It shows respect for yourself and for your partner. A wedding is beautiful, but a true partnership is even more beautiful.
You know, many couples feel doubts before the wedding, but they still move forward because they believe in each other. They know that together they can face whatever comes.
And some people realize that maybe marriage is not the right step for them at that moment. And that is okay too. Being honest and brave is more important than doing something just because it was planned.
There is no shame in taking time. There is no shame in saying, I need to be sure. Life is too precious to live it trying to please others or to meet someone else's idea of happiness.
Happiness comes from living your truth, from building your life in a way that feels real to you. Marriage should be a step you take with joy, not fear.
And no matter what decision you make, it is your life. You deserve to feel proud of the path you choose, whether it is marriage now, later, or not at all.
Love starts with honesty. It grows with trust. And it lasts when both people feel free and strong in their choice to be together.
Sometimes people feel afraid that if they have doubts, they will hurt their partner. They worry that asking questions will make the other person upset. But real love is strong enough to hold these conversations.
Yes, and it's better to speak honestly than to hide your feelings. When you hide doubts, they grow bigger inside. When you share them, You can work through them together.
And when two people talk with love and respect, it can actually make their relationship stronger. Even hard talks can bring people closer when they listen with open hearts.
Another important thing to remember is that marriage is not magic. It does not fix problems. If there are problems before the wedding, they will still be there after the wedding unless you face them.
That's true. Some people think, once we get married, everything will be better. But marriage is not a solution. It is a new chapter, and the problems you carry into it can grow if you ignore them.
That is why it is better to be brave now. Talk about the important things before you say, I do. Talk about your dreams, your values, your hopes for the future.
And talk about the hard things too. How do you both handle stress? How do you deal with money? How do you solve problems together? These things matter in daily life.
Sometimes, wedding doubts come from small fears, like fear of change or fear of the unknown. That's normal. But if doubts come from seeing real problems, it's important to listen to them.
Fear of change can feel big, but love can help you move through that fear. When you trust your partner and your decision, the fear becomes smaller with time.
And if you see problems that feel too big, it is not a failure to stop and think again. It takes great courage to pause and choose the right path, even if it is hard.
In the end, marriage is about choosing each other every day. It's about standing beside each other not just in the good times, but also in the hard times.
That is why doubts can sometimes be helpful. They push you to look deeper. They ask you to be honest, brave, and true to yourself and to your partner.
If you face your doubts with honesty, kindness, and care, you are building a strong foundation. And with a strong foundation, love can grow beautifully over time.
When two people are honest about their fears and hopes, they build a relationship based on trust. Trust is what keeps love strong through all the ups and downs of life.
And trusting yourself is just as important. Trusting your own feelings, your own voice, and your own heart helps you make the best choice for your future.
Wedding doubts are not something to fear. They're a natural part of making a big decision. They give you the chance to understand yourself better and to understand your partner more deeply.
Taking time to think, to talk, and to listen shows that you care. It shows that you want to build something real, something that will last not just for one day, but for many years to come.
Whether you decide to move forward with marriage, to wait, or to choose a different path, what matters most is that the decision feels true to you.
Love that is built with honesty, respect, and patience is strong. It grows stronger with time. And when you choose with an open heart, you are choosing a beautiful journey ahead.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so happy you spent your time with us, learning and thinking together.
If you enjoyed this podcast, we would love for you to like it, leave a comment to share your thoughts, and share it with your friends and family.
Your support means so much to us. We hope to see you again in our next episode.
Take care, stay true to yourself, and goodbye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A party of people at a wedding. Wedding party. Become nervous and reconsider a decision. Get cold feet. Lose one's nerve. Freak out. Long and careful examination of one's thoughts. Soul-searching. Remind someone to stay calm. Slap some sense into.
Let's try that faster.
Long and careful examination of one's thoughts. Soul-searching. Become nervous and reconsider a decision. Get cold feet. Lose one's nerve. Freak out. A party of people at a wedding. Wedding party. Remind someone to stay calm. Slap some sense into.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Wedding party. They planned their crime, but couldn't go through with it. Wedding party. You can't go through with this. We are going to be arrested. Wedding party. He had his doubts, but in the end he went through with the divorce. Get cold feet. I was going to tell him, but I got cold feet. Get cold feet. I can't believe he got cold feet on his wedding day. Get cold feet. I was about to complete my work, but I got cold feet, and I came clean. Freak out. I'm sorry I freaked out in the last moment. Freak out. Don't freak out on me like that again, please.